Hey traders, welcome back to the channel. In this video, we're going to talk about Vinco Ventures, ticker symbol BBIG. After a pretty action-packed couple of days here, we've seen this stock go from the low fours all the way to $6 earlier today before having a pretty drastic pullback back to the low fives in the afternoon. So in this video, I'm going to start off by just going over a major upcoming catalyst for BBIG. After that, we're going to take a look at the charts and, as always, break down key levels and key indicators so we know how to best play this stock moving forward. And finally, we're going to take a look at what happened this afternoon. And my goal there is to provide some reassurance and maybe even a learning moment for newer traders. So stay tuned for that. But for right now, leave a thumbs up on this video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and let's get started. Okay, so starting off with a major catalyst that's supposed to be coming up at the end of this week, we saw that once Vinco Ventures pushed back their merger with Zash on May 28th, they came out with a few additional updates. And one of those updates was that the Gemini valuation services would be completing and presenting to Vinco an independent third-party valuation on Zash on or before June 11th, which is this Friday. And if you've watched my videos on BBIG in the past, you should know why I'm very, very bullish on anything that could possibly come out regarding this news. Mainly, it's because Zash is the majority owner of Lemotive. This is something that's always good to review with the stock. But as we can see, back in February, Zash acquired an 80% stake of Lemotive, paying about $125 million for that stake. And in my opinion, this is an absolute steal. We've seen that under Zash's guidance, Lemotive has absolutely skyrocketed in recent months. Today, they came out on Twitter and announced that they have over 150 million users. We've also seen reports that they are targeting markets that TikTok is either underappreciated in or that TikTok is banned in, such as India, such as Nigeria. So there is major, major opportunity to grow here for Lemotive. And when we take a look at the value of TikTok, we can especially see why this is such an awesome opportunity here for Vinco Ventures, because the valuation of ByteDance, which is TikTok's parent company, is currently approaching $400 billion. Now, with Lemotive, it's obviously in much earlier stages. However, if it is valued at even 1/1000th of what TikTok currently is, well, then all of a sudden, Lemotive alone is worth $400 million. Meanwhile, BBIG currently trades at a $132 million market cap. So Lemotive alone would be worth 3 times the amount of BBIG's market cap. So make sure to keep an eye out for any news that comes out regarding this valuation, because I anticipate this could truly be some groundbreaking stuff for BBIG's bottom line. However, now let's get into the charts, and we're going to start off, as always, by recapping the daily price action. So let's zoom it out a little bit. And as we can see, we actually started off the day pretty bearishly. Okay. We had a big gain in pre-market. We were pushing like 580. However, we lost all those gains. And instead, when we started the market open, we were pushing along this 485 support zone. However, the buyers did come through and we pushed it multiple times and the buyers held their ground. And as a result, it kind of exhausted the sellers and we started to make a move up. And then we got a pretty clean break above our 522 breakout zone. And that kind of caused the floodgates to open for BBIG. We made a push around midday all the way to touching $6 very briefly, before finally kind of starting to have this little sell-off in the afternoon. We're going to go over that later. However, right now, let's focus in on this chart, starting off by taking a look at the indicators. The first indicator you have to keep in mind for tomorrow is this one right here, this yellow line. That's the VWAP, the volume weighted average price. And unfortunately, BBIG did close below the VWAP today. And that means that the bears are in control heading into tomorrow's trading session. However, taking a look at other major indicators, we can see that there are a lot of bullish signs for this stock right now. Starting off by taking a look at moving averages, our 21-day EMA currently sits at 349. The 50-day moving average sits at 279, and the 200-day moving average currently sits at 231. So simply put, there we are seeing that with these levels being so far above it, BBIG is sitting in very bullish territory in the short term, in the intermediate term, and in the long term. On top of that, OBV is an indicator that we've been spending a lot of time on with this stock. And as you guys can see, with this most recent move up, OBV is currently sitting at all time highs. This is absolutely mind blowing just how far OBV has come with this stock in recent days. We're seeing momentum buying and volume buying sit at all time highs. And as long as that continues, we'll expect the price action to follow suit. So, with that being said, let's go right into the key level analysis. We're going to start off on the support side. So, the first support level tomorrow is going to be at 522. After that, we have $5 and 485. This is a major zone any bull would like to see hold in tomorrow's trading session. If it doesn't hold, then all of a sudden we're probably going to have some more downside or consolidation ahead. 450 would be next up after that. So that's something to keep an eye out on. However, also as we saw today, these dips down here, if we do go and retest these areas, I mean, they make for great buys. By buying at these levels, you're minimizing your risk and maximizing your upside, knowing that if you need to, if it falls below a support zone, you can just cut your position and rebuy at a lower price. Meanwhile, if it does hold, just like 485 was holding today, well, all of a sudden you only have upside ahead. So always make sure to chart out your support levels if you are looking to either open a position or add to your position. However, now looking in terms of upside at resistance levels tomorrow, so 540 is going to be a pretty major resistance. We kind of saw that play out throughout today. After that, there's going to be some smaller resistance around 560. And then once again, major resistance between 593 and 605, which was the highest point that we touched today. So if we can get a clean break above 605 and set a higher high, well, then this is officially another breakout, and we have room to run all the way to 668. So that's something to keep in mind. After 668, we would have room to 752. So things could get very fun if we get another clean break over 605 tomorrow. That is something to keep your eyes on. Last thing, when we take a look at the charts, we also have to take a look at volume. And as you guys can see, volume very impressive today, around 50 million shares trading hands. I know we had this big day last Friday. However, this is all relative, and this is all relatively high compared to the average. I mean, take a look just a few weeks ago. There were days where not even a million shares of BBIG stock would trade hands. And so this is definitely a step in the right direction. As long as the volume continues to remain in these high levels, well, then the momentum is still there for this stock, and you can expect it to continue to try to push forward. So that is a very positive note. But now let's take a look at the final part of today's video. And that's that we had this major pullback in the afternoon. And I just want to assure everybody the reason this pullback happened had nothing to do with BBIG. There was no news that came out. It's not because there were no buyers up here. It's just because the overall market kind of turned on itself today. Okay. Taking a look at the SPY index, that's just the most general S&P market index. We can see that, I mean, everything was chugging along pretty smooth throughout today, kind of sitting in this 422.50 to 423 range. All of a sudden, with about 2 hours left before market close, this thing just started to absolutely tank all the way down to 421.50. And as a result, many stocks kind of followed suit. It's not just BBIG. Many stocks, if you take a look at their daily chart of what happened today, you're going to see in the afternoon there's probably a pretty big pullback. And the reason for this is that tomorrow the Consumer Price Index report for May is set, and they're going to come out with US inflation data. And this has many people kind of being very cautious because inflation rates right now are very high, and that's not good for the market. So that's kind of what's causing the sell off. I think people are just being cautious. However, if the report comes out and doesn't say anything groundbreakingly bad, I don't anticipate the market sell off to continue tomorrow. But people are just being cautious heading into this report being announced. But pay attention. It's going to be announced right before market opens tomorrow, and it'll probably give us some pretty good insights into what's going to happen during tomorrow's trading session. But with that all being said, let me know what you think is going to happen tomorrow and for the rest of the week for BBIG stock. I always love to hear your guys' feedback. If you have any questions for me, let me know. I'm happy to answer them. If you like this video, leave a thumbs up on it. If you want to see more content like this, please subscribe to the channel. And aside from that, have a great rest of your night.